Jennifer.
Hello.
What's bringing you in today?
Well, I'm having major issues with my son. He is extremely rude and extremely disrespectful to me, and it's really, really bothering me at this time.
Okay, and what do you mean by this? Can you give me an example or?
Well, he uses curse words in front of me.
Okay.
He calls me various curse words. When we text each other, sometimes he is not nice. He's not polite, nor does he use appropriate language. And I have tried to work on it with him, but it seems to be getting worse instead of better.
And is this like on multiple occasions, or is this just a one-time?
Oh no, this is multiple occasions. It seems like it's gotten worse in the last, 6 months probably. It's gotten worse.
And is it just the wording, or is there any other issues, or is it tone of voice, or?
It's tone of voice, it's words, I know that he's a teenager, and I expect a certain amount of disrespect. I mean, not expect, but I know there's, everyone's trying to flesh out where they are as a teenager.
Teenage angst.
Yeah, and so I try to be patient with it, but, when you're calling your mom various horrible names, then it's not cool. It's not respectful. It's very upsetting.
And how do you feel like at the moment when this is happening to you?
I feel like, of course, that he doesn't respect me. I feel like I'm a horrible mother because I've brought up somebody who thinks that he can speak to me this way.
So it's your fault?
I do feel like it's my fault.
So when he's in the moment, when he's talking to you and saying these nasty words and things, are you thinking, I'm a bad parent, or what are you thinking? What's really the thought that leads to that?
I think my initial thought is, how dare you? And I think that my next thought is that I've raised this horrible human being, and that I'm supposed to send this person out into the world, and it's my fault that he is so disrespectful and so rude.
Yeah.
Which is it really bothers me because that's not how I raised him.
Do you think that maybe these negative thoughts are stemming just from his reaction, like he's not listening to what you're asking, so clearly it must be something you're doing?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he's more reactionary, and that I'm taking it personally.
Right.
And I know that I shouldn't, because teenagers love to say things just to get a rise out of you, and I've worked really hard to not give him that rise.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, when you call your mother a bitch, there's things that are gonna happen. And so I feel like I'm trying to work on keeping my emotions under control, but at the same time, it's like I feel very out of control.
So how do you react in that moment, outwardly? What does he see or hear?
I usually try to be calm. I try to not react emotionally immediately, because at one time I reacted very, it would anger me. It would anger me to such a point that I would almost see red. Like, that this person feels not, it wasn't even like my son, it was like, this person feels that they can speak to me that way?
Right.
How
You wouldn't
dare
let anybody
you?
else on the street talk to you that way.
No. And so then, and I think that I really have worked hard to not emotionally react right away. Like,
so in that moment, do you think that you outwardly showed exactly what was going on inside your head? Or do you think...
I know that I do. I know that I've worked to not do that, but I know that at one time I would just immediately emotionally react.
And do you find that you trying to stay calm, do you find that that helps or hurts your internal thoughts? Does it seem like you're bottling it up? Or does it seem like, you staying calm is giving the effect on him that you want by not letting him get a rise out of you as far as he knows?
I feel like it does both.
Okay.
I feel like for me, it feels like it's hurting me. I want to react. I want to have a reaction.
You, like,
I feel like you are the child and I am the parent, and
Sure.
and I feel it's almost a power struggle within me of how dare you speak to me like this? You are not going to speak to me like this, and I feel like I just want to take them and shake them.
Okay, so what feelings do you associate with that I want to shake him? Is it like out of frustration or anger or disbelief or what do you like? What's driving you to that point?
I think it's anger, it's frustration, it's I think I'm hurt.
Hurt.
I think I'm hurt that he would speak to. I feel like I have been the best parent that I can be and that I know how to be.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I feel like he's sort of discounting it.
That could be. You're definitely not wrong in feeling hurt by that. I'm sure you've given this child all the love that you can, and now he's not getting that back. What do you think could possibly maybe break through, or what do you think maybe words-wise would maybe, like, if you say that you're hurt by this, do you think that would get through? Instead of lashing out and being angry, maybe going like the hurt route and showing like, that like you're wounding me as a parent, as another human, not just as a parent.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't used that method yet. I feel that I feel like if I show weakness,
they smell fear.
Yeah, especially like animals, they smell fear.
Got it.
So I feel like if I show weakness, then he'll immediately pounce on it. Like, well,
sure,
you're a baby, and I mean, this is my child. He's 14. Like in a real world, I shouldn't be afraid of these things, but at the same time, I'm trying to figure it all out, and I'm trying to not have so much emotional reaction to it.
But in the real world, if he said these things to other people, there would be reactions.
Yes.
I think so much so that he knows that's a consequence that he doesn't do that to other people. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping. I think that's my other fear is that he's going out in the world and behaving like this.
Okay, so we have fears of him treating other people like this, stemming from you not being a good parent. You made him this way, and because you made him this way, it's coming back and hurting you. Why those feelings? Why do you, if you know really that you've done everything you can do,
I feel like I did do my best, but maybe, I mean, it sounds very trite, but maybe my best wasn't good enough.
Okay.
Maybe I wasn't good at this.
Well, you got the same parental guidebook that every other parent got. Here's a kid. Have fun.
Yeah.
But okay, so did you notice how you felt when you reacted, when you had an outburst and you physically acted afterwards versus how you felt after times that you were more passive? Do you remember how you felt after those times?
Yeah. I feel like when I'm angry and I feel that rage, like I'm aware that it's out of control, and I'm aware that nothing good there will be no good final reaction to this if I react in rage. And I feel that if I sort of pull back and I say, I remain calm, and I say, you will not speak to me that way, you will not do those things to me, no one else is allowed to speak to me that way. When I kind of set those boundaries, I feel better about it.
Okay.
I'm not sure how effective they are.
Yeah.
But I feel better in that I'm controlling my emotions to his.
Okay, so that feels good. That you're actually the adult and going about this the adult way, and maybe setting an example, without even realizing it. And it might be one of those things where I know I've had where I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I did that to my parents. Or as I'm getting older, once we're in that, and he may have those look backs and I'm so sorry I did that to her. But circling back to where you said, that it builds. When you blow up, after he blows up, you know that it just builds off each other. You take that into account, that you know this is what's going to happen. But when you do actually explode, how do you feel? Like, does it actually, for a second, do you kind of have some relief that you let that steam off, or are you just immediately upset with yourself for doing it?
I feel like I should be the adult in the situation.
Well, yeah.
That I'm reacting.
But sometimes we can't help. I mean, I know that I'm supposed to be an adult, but sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
when I just let out, like, oh, just a, you know, it just feels good. It just, you know.
There are times it has felt good. It
Yeah.
has felt good to sort of, because I'm not a very emotionally explosive person,
Right.
and so when it happens, it sort of shocks him too, and like,
Oh, okay. Maybe gets his attention a little
yeah. And I know he's trying to get a reaction, but I
Mhm.
feel like I very much try to tamper down that because I do have rage
bit. Mm-hmm.
that I don't like to go unchecked.
So, you think overall, though, you do feel better internally when you don't react externally?
I feel like it's better for the overall situation if I don't.
Which one makes you feel better?
I
Which
feel
one-
better
how
to
do you-
react with rage. I won't lie.
Okay.
I feel like at least I get it all out at once.
Right, but it's important to know these things, that way we know what works for you, you know? It's not fair if you have to keep it bottled up inside, because it's going to come out somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know? So we can definitely work on moving that into, maybe instead of exploding back on him, maybe doing something else with it. But definitely, you're not winning if you keep doing something that you think is the correct way, but you keep feeling like this inside, you know?
Yeah, I guess I just want, I would like, what I should do in that situation, I don't know, like, do I take a time out? Do I don't know what to do. I mean, lately I feel like I'm just pressing it down, like sort of submerging it. I do feel like it's coming out in other ways. Like, I feel like when I go to work, I'm very short with people. I'm very sharp. And I feel like some of that is because I'm doing that all the time at home. It's like suppressing, and then I get to work and it's sort of coming out inappropriately.
So the frustration he's putting inside, you're not letting it out and then carrying it around to other places, and maybe even spreading it to other people. Okay, so what can we do you think, what would be another option so that, you know, you're not blowing up on him? Because I think you're right in wanting to set the better example, you know, that goes to you being a good parent. Let me reinstate that, like,
Thank
you know. But what do you think would be a better possibility? Not necessarily even having to do with him. This is about you. What do you think would be better for you?
Well, I think I don't need to see everything as so black and white.
Okay.
Like,
Alright.
if he misbehaves,
Sure.
it's not the end. It's not because I'm the worst parent ever.
Right.
It could be a variety of things.
It could be because he's a teenage boy.
Yeah.
And
It's
teenagers
not
are
'cause-
kind of the worst.
Yeah. It's not because I completely messed up his whole life. 'Cause
Sure.
that's the hole I go down, is that
Yeah.
I caused this, I'm the problem, this is me, I'm a horrible parent, I haven't taught him how to speak to people. You know, you just go into that whole
Do you ever notice
spiral.
like the good things he does?
I try to make an effort, yes.
So any of those good things that you pick up on, even if they're not towards you, do you ever take credit for those?
I do. Like,
do?
the other day, we were at a restaurant and there was a woman behind us and he held the door open for her. And so I said to him, wow, that was really nice that you held the door open for her.
Right. Okay,
Good
so
job.
you're acknowledging the good manners as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good though. It's good that you're giving yourself props for that, because it's more than just noticing the bad things. You're noticing the good and you're giving yourself credit for that, which is a huge good thing. Like, that's awesome. But maybe as far as the whole putting it on yourself that obviously you did a bad job parenting because he's not being nice and he's going to be a bad person then. You see that those aren't all necessarily connected. There's other factors in there too.
When I don't look at it emotionally, yes.
When you're not in that moment.
Yeah.
So maybe when he is being nasty or whatever he's doing, physically walk away from him. What would you think about that? You don't need to be treated that way.
I think that I'm afraid he'll come up behind me and sort of egg me on, and I don't know that I'll react well to that.
Right. Well, what if you talk to him and it's one of those, you know, like, I'm not going to speak to you while you're speaking like this. If you want to have a conversation, we can come back in a few minutes, but you're not being nice, I'm not gonna be nice, you know, and just acknowledge that, you know, he wants to be treated like an adult, I'm sure, so treat him like an adult, you know, and react in the way that any other person would be like, you know, I'm not talking to you, go away from me, I don't need this.
Yeah.
You don't need it either, you know?
Yeah, I like that idea, because at least it would give me time to sort of calm down too.
Right, and then do you think that maybe when you guys did have a conversation, what do you think your feelings might be? I feel like if you have a mindset of how your feelings might be, it might be easier to walk into that conversation. How do you want to feel during that conversation?
I would like to be calm. I would
Okay.
like to not emotionally go into the situation.
Okay.
I feel almost like I should be not a brick wall, but sort of unemotional about it. Like, this is the situation. I am not going to take it anymore.
Facts. Yeah.
Just sort of, almost like when you go into your boss, like very
Another adult.
cut and dry.
Okay, and then, you know, keeping calm, you said. What about as far as like, do you think you're going to be stressed or nervous going into it?
Well, I never know, because he's very split second.
Right.
I mean, he's a teenager. Like, one moment he can be fine, and the next moment he cannot be fine.
Sure.
So it's sort of like, it's walking on landmines all day too.
Gotcha.
It's sort of, you just never know what you're gonna get.
So what would you think about the next time he does this, being like, listen, I'll talk to you when you can talk like a normal person, and then telling him those things, like, I feel like I'm walking on landmines with you, you know, I'm frustrated, you know, and it's making me be frustrated with other people, and share your actual feelings with him.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like it. I feel like I don't want to, I don't know, I mean, maybe that's part of the issue too, is like, I feel like I don't want to burden him with like, I'm striking out at other people, because I feel like those are my emotions, and like, I want him to be responsible for his emotions, and I should be responsible for my emotions.
That's fair. That is absolutely very fair.
Yeah, so I feel like, I mean, I love that, like, sort of going, I'm just going to step away from you right now because I'm not going to react well. Like, I think that's a very fair.
So that's a good idea, and then I like that you have your own mindset going into it about he needs to be responsible for his emotions, I'll be responsible for mine. Do you think that's a possible, like, maybe we'll think about it like that from now on?
I do. I think it's sort of a modeling mode.
Okay.
Of, you know, if I can do that enough times, maybe he'll sort of
experiment.
Yeah, maybe he'll sort of pick it up.
I'll try it. See where it ends up. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.